Hello and welcome. From the title, as you can see, this is my labor and delivery video, and if you hear some swallowing, it's because baby is here with me. He's eating right now, and his name is Nasim Amir. So before I get started, I want to update those of you who don't know what my plan was before I went into birth. I wanted to give you a little update of what I had envisioned for my first birth, and what that was I was really hoping to have a natural birth. I had went in, had the tour at the hospital. It was going to be at a birth center in the hospital, which made me feel safe because you know, I could have the freedom of, you know, moving around and doing everything natural, and the support of the midwives, but be in the hospital just in case something happened. Definitely didn't make it to that point. And my experience was, let's just say, a bit frightening, to say the least. Totally unexpected from what I had thought, was told, could ever even imagine. It was just totally out of the water. I took birthing class. That helped. Part of it helped, like the breathing and all that, like learn understanding breathing and how to work with my body was helpful. But other than that, everything else kind of gone out of the window. So I'll just get started. So what happened was I had an appointment scheduled. By the way, he was a week early. He was born on the day of my 39, like the mark of 39 weeks. So, which was a Wednesday. So on Monday, I had just a regular appointment, and I went to my appointment, and the midwife asked, you know, like, hey, had you had your ultrasound that was scheduled for 33 weeks? And I'm like, no, they told me to go, but they never wrote me a script, so I never went. And it was kind of like an update ultrasound. So she said, okay, well, I'm going to give you one to go. I mean, you're at the end of the pregnancy, but we'll just give it to you just so that, you know, your charts can be up to date, which I thought was cool because I would be able to see the baby. So close to, you know, my due date. So I went to my ultrasound the next day around 1:30 in the afternoon, and it was quite interesting because that led to me never leaving the hospital. So I went to the hospital, had my ultrasound, and in my ultrasound, the ultrasound tech looked a little bit worried. So I thought, you know, what is the problem? So I kept asking her questions, and she's like, you know, like the heart, like, oh yeah, the heart's fine, and all the other things. I can't really see, you know, what they're looking at on that screen, but I just thought I would ask, and everything, she's like, oh, that's fine. So then she like, okay, have you lost any fluid? And I thought to myself, well, no, you know, there was a point where I thought that I may have, but I think that it was just, you know, a heavy discharge because it didn't continue. So she's like, okay, let me go talk to the doctor or show these to the doctor. So she comes back in after talking to the doctor, and she said, so I asked her, like, is everything okay? And she's like, well, your fluid is low. And I'm like, okay, my fluid's low. What does that mean? Like, she's like, well, you don't really have any fluid in there. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I immediately burst into tears because I was so afraid. You know, my baby's 39, almost 39 weeks, and there's no fluid. Like, how long has there been no fluid? What's happening to him in there? Is he okay? There was just so many things going through my mind. So the doctor comes in, and he sees me in tears, and he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I wish, you know, I didn't have to come into this. And I'm just thinking, like, is my baby okay? And I scream out, like, I just want him out. And so he's like, don't worry, he's going to be out very soon, because we're going to send you to triage. And so I'm like thinking, what? Triage right now? Oh my gosh. So I cry even more, and I'm like, whoa, I need my husband here. So I call Ahmad, and on my 3% of, or like 5% of battery that I had left on my phone, I call him. He gets up there. Before I left the house, I actually had the crock pot on because I thought I was coming back home. So I notified him to, hey, you know, we got to get that crock pot turned off before you come to the hospital, which it was fine. And we actually had dinner, you know, for when we got out of the hospital. So he gets to the hospital, my mom gets to the hospital. They had me in triage. They monitored the baby's heartbeat, his breathing, all that, and everything was fine. And they were just like, this is crazy that he's doing so well and there's like no fluid in there. And every time somebody said low fluid, I would ask them if a different person said it, and they would be like, yeah, there's like no fluid. And I just felt horrible. Not that I had control over it, it just, I didn't have control, which made me feel even worse. So I go from triage, and in triage, yeah, they definitely confirmed that I will not be leaving the hospital until I have this baby. So Ahmad goes home, gets my bag, gets the car seat, all that stuff, while they're taking me to the room. So I'm in the room. I order some food because I have to be induced. And I was not able to go to the Center for Natural Birth because now I am high risk. So I was not able to do that anymore, which was totally fine with me because all I wanted more than anything is just to get my baby out safely. So I go to the delivery room and I eat. And after I eat, they give me fluid, IV with just fluids, and also this crumb of a pill. It looked like a crumb. Like, they broke the pill, but it didn't look like half a pill. It looked like a crumb of a pill. And it was miso or something. I don't know, whatever. But it was supposed to soften my cervix and kind of get things going. That was around like 6:30 in the afternoon. And so they checked me later on that night, and then nothing was really happening. So they had to do another kind of like intervention, which was this balloon thing. I didn't really get to see it because it was put like kind of inside of me. It was supposed to go up near the cervix and kind of open it up, or help open it up. And I just remember, I was kind of tired, but I just remember her saying that she was going to put it in there and then fill it with some water, and it was like a balloon. But I had to pee at this time, and I'm telling her, like, it hurts when you're trying to put this in there. I have to go pee because I had been peeing every 5 minutes at this time, probably because of the fluids running through my body. And she's like, no, you're just nervous. So I'm like, no, I really have to pee. So she tries. It doesn't work. It's hurting. She takes a break. I go pee. She tries again. Miraculously, it works. I knew because I really did have to go. She didn't believe me. So they get it in there, and maybe like 2 hours later, I pee again, but I pee like in a little tub thing, you know, that they help you pee in the bed. And it starts coming out, and I'm like telling the nurse, like, it's coming out. And she's like, that's good. That's what we wanted to do. So it came out, and it was about like 11 o'clock and p.m. And they checked me after it came out, and I was 5 centimeters by now. So I'm like, okay. And when I had that thing in there, I could feel the contractions, and they were pretty not super strong, but they were pretty strong. And the minute that that thing came out of me, I was still having contractions, but they were like a breeze. Oh my gosh, compared to that thing. So around 4 in the morning, 4 a.m., they checked me again. I'm still at 5 centimeters, so they have to do what I didn't want, which is give me Pitocin. So they give me the Pitocin. Right away, I don't feel anything different, but around 9 o'clock the next morning, well, that morning, I guess you could say, I feel them, and they're strong. At one point, I went to the, well, they were kind of strong. I was breathing through them, but they were kind of strong. And I remember going to brush my teeth, and I had like 4 within the time that I got to the bathroom. Well, going to the bathroom and coming out of the bathroom, I had like 4 contractions. So I had to like stop, brace myself, breathe, and finish what I was doing. And then at one point I was talking to my sister on the phone, and like at this point they're probably like 2 to 3 minutes apart, and I would just breathe through it, and then I talk to her for my break, and then I breathe through it again, and she's like, "You're doing great." I also did my makeup in between contractions, which I have a video of, so if you want to see it, just let me know and I'll try to show that to you. But yeah, so where was I? Oh, doing my makeup in between contractions. So then that was like around 9, 10, something like that. So around 11 o'clock, the contractions are strong. Like, they're very strong. And I have the wireless monitor on my belly. I'm hooked up to the IVs, but I don't have any medication yet, so I don't have to technically be in the bed. So I was able to use the ball and use the side of the bed to kind of, you know, work through my contractions how I seen fit. Well, it wasn't working. I was in so much pain. And so I didn't know what to do. And Ahmad looked at me and he said, "If you want the medicine, you can get it just good." Like, and I thought to myself, you know, if I was going to get any interventions, that would probably lead to an epidural. And I kind of already knew that. So I said, okay, it's 11, like give me until, you know, like 12 and I will revisit that idea. Well, it didn't take that long. It was about 11:15 and I got the epidural. I just said, "Listen, can you tell them that I want it?" And so he did. They gave me the epidural. The poke wasn't really that bad, but having contractions and getting poked in your back, yeah, not fun, but whatever. So I got the epidural, and then they tell me that it will take the pain away, but I'll still feel a little bit of pressure. And so I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I did. And then I slept for maybe like an hour or 2. I don't really remember how long, because I just like, kind of just went to sleep. So I woke up and I realized that I was starting to feel more than pressure. My pressure had turned into pain, and it was only on one side of my body, which was the right side. The left side was very numb. The right side, ooh, good job, baby. The right side was not numb anymore. And as time went on, it progressed and progressed and progressed. The pain got stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. So I asked the nurse, okay, you know, like, I got this epidural, but I can feel the pain again. On Pitocin. So they're like minute long, 2 minutes apart at this point. And I'm like breathing through them and all that, but I'm just like, what the heck? Like, I got this, now what? And so she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna tell the anesthesiologist. And so he comes back in with some medicine, and he's like, I can give this to you. Okay. So at this point I felt really weak. Like I couldn't eat anything. I hadn't ate anything. It was about 3 o'clock and I hadn't ate anything since 6:30 the day before. 3 p.m. and I hadn't ate anything since 6 p.m. the day before. At this point, from 6:30 to at this point, I can only have liquids, which is just not doing it. But I had them just to keep myself going, but it was just not doing it like some solid food would have. And so I asked him, is it going to make me weaker? And he says, yeah, it'll make you a little bit weaker. Is it going to take the pain away? And he says, well, I can't promise. Like, you can't localize it, but it's stronger, so it should take the pain away. Well, let me tell you, I thought I'm going to die if anything makes me weaker than what I feel. And you can't promise anything? No, I don't want that medicine. So I told him not to give me the medicine. And I went for the next 5 hours with the pain. Every nurse that came in thought I was crazy. They would totally remind me that I could have got the pain medicine, and I would remind them that I declined it and I can do this. It was excruciating, but I realized that you can do whatever you want. Whatever you put your mind to, you can really do it, because that pain was very, very, very bad. But I was determined not to get any more medicine and not to feel any worse than I already did. So I made the choice to take on the pain versus having the pain taken away from me. And let me tell you, it wasn't that bad. I went through labor, pushed him out, felt the ring of fire, felt him coming out. Ahmad was there by my side every step of the way, coaching me through, telling me, you know, you can do this, push, push, push. As I'm like squeezing him, screaming in the pillow. Everybody in the hospital probably could hear me. But I just wanted to say that he came out, pushed him out, felt him come out, and it was just beautiful. So yeah, that is how my story went. If you have any questions or comments, I welcome anything, and thanks for watching. Bye. Thanks for watching. Bye. Toodles. You say toodles. Bye. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.